Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kate in the Nest, and welcome. I am going to start something new today. It's actually a continuation of something that I've started to do this year. I love to travel, and now that I am doing so much slow stitching, as well as taking journals with me, I have fallen in love with taking accessories that reflect. And because I'm heading to do my first ever Fleur course in Melbourne next week, this is her beautiful book. And from the moment I touched this book, it has resonated with me in so many ways. So that's going to be the inspiration of today's work. And again, I've given myself a deadline to finish. And I suppose I wanted to share with you what I noticed as I started to pull for this next project. This was the joy pouch, or the pouch of joy, that I stitched to take to the US with me in June. In fact, it was the end of May. Now, at that time, I was very new to sharing my stitching, and I was intent on improving my stitches, and I loved that I could embellish my pouch while I was away and then add particular embroideries. So you've probably seen this many times before, but I suppose I'm looking at it with new insight because I use this to hold a project still. I adore it. Then after that, when I returned to the States, I had in that time between late May and early July, I had moved on to these bright colours, and that was a result of going to Beckett Sobeys course. They're fabrics that I just can feel when I touch this where I was at. This is my favourite curve piece of it's a quilt that I still have, and out came my signature. This particular crochet, funny sort of crochet, became my sort of signature flower at that time, and I equate that with travel. And then more recently, I shared with you that I wanted another pouch for my everyday work, and this has gone out to the green door with me many times. This is the one I tried to put the bright orange zipper in and resolved that I wasn't good at that. But you know, I'm finding I love tucking away needles in places, so when I'm desperate, I can always find a needle or a pin. So, and again, you can see there's a Zozo, and I've shown you this many times. What am I trying to say? I'm going to evolve again with you to take a pouch in my tote bag with me to Melbourne, and I think I want this size because then I could put either the project that I'm working on with Fleur. Oh, look at this. See, you find treasures. Always a treasure. Who knows? But maybe I'm going to look at that size. And the thing that I've been seeing that Beck has been hosting Fleur in Newcastle, and I suppose the thing that has always struck me is that Fleur uses nature as an inspiration so much. So just before I filmed, I went out in the garden and look at this for a beautiful variegated geranium. So for me, that matched this cover, and I'm starting, I hope you can hear, the creative juices are on fire. So how are you? I'll take breath now because I mightn't stop. The second edition is out of this book, so I just say to everyone, you must get it. Changed my life. And I suppose it's such a beautiful book at any time you can go through, but I love how Fleur, she just looks at nature and responds to the colours in ways that I haven't seen. I loved everything, but in particular, This is her grandmother's tablecloth, I think. I've always loved that green. And then this is some of the work that she has. Sorry, using one of my fabric pieces there for my journal. I love that she's able to integrate bright colours with her stitching. And then, if you haven't seen this book, what's really helpful is Fleur also goes through colour palettes. So this is the one that I thought, because it reminds me of Fleur's tablecloth, that might be my inspiration. It's the warm, and it says pinks plus greens plus textures plus flora. So that is enough for me to get my heart racing and to think of how am I going to put this together. And here's an up close of some of that work. And you may know I've got these water lilies I'm using in my slow stitch quilt, and almost that was enough. It will never be enough, but it's enough for this session to start Kate working on the pouch to take in her tote bag to Melbourne. So this is why we gather. I went into my stitchy room and remembered vaguely that I don't know where I got this, but this is a little tablecloth. I should be called Untamed Kate because I have mess everywhere. But look at this. It's a beautiful, delicate cotton. It's already got some embroideries and some cutout work on it. And I thought that can be the base piece. And then I started to think about, I wanted to sew on wool. And of course, you've seen this one to death. This is the mohair. And I thought, look, I could put that there, but I'm already using it in quite a number of pieces. So I said no to that. Then I got my beautiful cream blanket that I know Fleur uses a lot in her work. And that was going to do until I remembered what? Oh, I remembered that I had picked up this wool blanket piece from Zoe's recently, and it's still got the satin on it. So I just loved that idea of continuing to take memories with me, current. And of course, I wouldn't be doing this stitching if I hadn't gone to the green door at the beginning of this year. So while it's bright, it actually is, I think for me, going to be the sort of the journey from this palette with just a tiny bit of green into me learning to do pinks and yellows and pops. So the whole time I'm going to keep this palette in mind. Lots of pinks, some reds and yellows, and not a lot of blues. We'll see what happens. Okay, now welcome to my new subbies, and welcome back to all my people who have been being so kind to me now for quite an amount of time. Quite a number have said that you like me starting from scratch on a project, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just playing, which is what I always start with. I actually would like to use 2 pieces of this, one on the front and one on the back. Sorry, if I start going quiet, that's because I'm lost in a dreamy world. So why don't we think about a piece this wide? And again, I thought this can go in my little bag, and at night, if I have homework to do, I can do that and maybe reflect the stitch or what I've learned on this. So it's a cumulative memory keeper. Okay, so I've just torn that strip, both sides. And now, because it's too long, I'm actually going to, let's go to there. I love that cutie little piece of cutout work. So now we've got, I better get the right side. Okay, so I want the right side, I want the corner to be up here. Then we'll zip it round here. And again, I've got a choice. So that's going to be up there on the opposite side. And I could have the edge on the front. So right from the beginning, getting this idea of layers. I think that's what we'll do. So that means it's got a water stain all the way through, I've just noticed, which I love. Shows it was used. Okie dokie. So I've got one for the front, and then I'll have one for the back. And of course, I interchange them. Yep, all right. So now we need to get our blanket, and biggest choice. Look how beautifully worn that is. Love it. Look at those colours. Oh, I hope that's bringing you joy. I nearly kissed it, but I won't. Sorry. Okay, let's keep this on top, and let's measure away. Or do I want to do it like last time and have the satin blanket at the back popping up over, a bit like this? I did enjoy that that was taller because I can do a whole row there of additional embellishment. I think that's what we'll do, which means got to work out how long to make this. Actually, let's do it an easier way. Let's put, so Kate, I'm sorry everyone who loves measuring and may not like to know, but I don't do that. Only because if I measured, it would still be inaccurate. Okay, so I love it when there's a stripe. Yep, let's so use this little stripe here. My guideline. I was going to do it right along, but I think I'll preserve that because I might do another project. Well, I will, but okay. So there. Oh, it's nice and big. It's actually a little bit bigger, which I don't think that hurts. Is it a tiny bit out of proportion? I think probably. Oh, that's pretty. But no, I've got to have the cover, haven't I? So let us too much. I think about there. Alright, so we'll tear along this line again. Yep, that feels better. Alright, now over the top, we're going to have something like that. And on the back, the equivalent, if I can find the piece that I can't, of course I can't. Surely. Oh, here it is, getting crunkled. Now the big decision is, do I want I sort of want it up there, so I'm going to leave this beautiful edging on the side but trim some of this off. Oh, gosh. Too much strength at an unexpected time. Gosh, I nearly knocked a whole shelf down then. Okay, so let's put that into position. Now remember I was saying, oh, better just check I've got the right side, yes. Look, I think I want to leave that as the full piece. And then on here, we can go up further. It's not the right or the wrong side. This is the right side. So here, we'll leave that there. And we'll tear, what's the word? Just under here. Like that. And I suppose what's helpful to me now is that I'll be thinking, I know which is the back because of the satin. Let's see, I've just totally changed my mind now because I love that edge there. And let's give some more opportunity for more colours and things. And I could wrap that round. Yep. Okay, so now that's in, I haven't stitched anything, but we can see our basic composition. This is top right of the pouch, and this is the top round the other way. So I wanted to, before we stitch, I wanted to show you some pieces that I have brought down, and let's just go back to our colours. And our palette, look, I'm already brighter, but I have got, that's me, I can't help it be bright, but I've got some ideas happening there. So what I pulled was my pink lily series. I found one of my signature flowers that could go somewhere. I brought down a little embroidery. Sometimes it just happens. And then I just go, how did that happen? And I feel so happy. And this piece, and then I've got this set of beautiful, look at this, whole set, 1, 2, 3, and one giant piece from, this was from the country oppie tour. It's not a tour, you know what I mean, my little trip. I'm thinking might like one of those. Look at those delicate little flowers and beautiful crocheting around the top. Another bit of that. I'll have to have a 3D flower somewhere. And then I've got this piece, which I remember, oh, it's green door. So there you are, there's a bit of Zoe as well. I remember showing you this, but I'm thinking that's totally unworked and there's a lot of it. And look at the scalloped edge. So I thought, now this is a very big motif and it might be way too big. Oh, listen to that. Oh, gosh, that was fantastic. But what if I started embroidering that? And whether this could be a side, okay. So many ideas. I sort of wish that the design was closer to the scallop. Not sure, but now that I've gathered sort of a little colour story, let's just have a little play. Keep my geranium in view there. The other thing I brought down, which came with me, where did I get this? What was that? That was Kansas. Oh, and there's a Zozo. Oh, and there's that little thing. So it might be time to... I need to... I've got, left my little scissors. Have I? In the other room? Yeah. So I did hear from a lovely lady who told me that, I think she told me on Instagram, that she is someone else who loves making things to, sew stitch things to take away when she travels. And so I'm not alone, I know that. There's probably millions of us doing this each time, but I have to say it's such a thrill. And it gives purpose. So, purpose to the work. So what is Kate doing? She's just unpulling, because this was on blanket. I want to go down to here and harvest just a little bit more. Harvest this little bit more. And I know that it'll be pulling the stitches undone, but they will stay at least to that point. So a little patch. Like that, and it's got some purples and French, I nearly call them French dots again. And actually that's come off its backing, which probably is a good thing. There you are, that's totally untamed, but the French knots will stay in place. So I've got that. I'll leave the rest of that for the moment. I do like that flower there and the Zozo. Now remember, I know what this was. I made these as handles for one of my nests, the large nest. Love that. Love, love. The story is coming together. This piece here, I'm thinking, now that some small fussy cutting scissors have been suggested to me, I can't stop dreaming about them. So that might be something I also do as a result of planning more about my bits and pieces that go with me. So let's do this bit like here. This is so much fun. So much fun. I'm so thankful I get to play with you like this. Now this bit, I don't think we'll use the blue hearts. I'll keep them for something special because they're gorgeous, whether they're hearts or berries. Keep them stuck together in one big piece. So delicate little bits, a big bold bit. Now let's think about this hanky. It's not a hanky, a doily. It's so sweet, but even if I used half of it, then I'd be cutting these two flowers. Let's be creative and see what happens. If we go, let's see if we go down, I will cut off that little leaf. Oh, look at the rust stain. So again, I know some of you can't do this and you know where I lie, but this has got rust all over it through the lace and a little stain there, which means it belongs here with me to be treasured and the memories shared. Okay. Now the other thing that I haven't talked to you about, this will need some thought. Look at that. Is restricting my color palette of threads. And I thought I might use a pink pearl, and then I bought some of Fleur's wool in the middle of the year. I don't know whether this is still it. I think I've run out, but I would like to certainly pick up some more of her threads if they're available at the workshop. So that's a little starter package for, let's see, I've just had an idea. Maybe this piece could, yeah, that's got to think upside down. Still need some other bits under there. Oh, look at the colour there. So I'm not a pinner of it all out. I think you know that. But what I need to do is, for the moment, look at that little pack of goodies. At least see if I can put something together. And then I can embellish. I'm having to play eeny, meeny, mo at the moment. Which project will I work on each night? And of course, I've given myself a new deadline that didn't even exist until last week when I started thinking about packing. So now my priorities have changed, and I'm going to work on my Melbourne pieces. Now I know many would be invisibly stitching or tacking this down, and please do that if that's your way. I thought I might even put a stamp, and I might put a stamp on some of Rachel's fabric, because again that's where I am up to in my stitchy journal. And then I would be able to hold this and feel that I've got Zoe, I've got Rachel, I've got all the ladies from the green door, and who knows what I might Fossick. A little bit of mum I need to put on. We'll see what we can find. So I'm just doing a very obvious pink. So I've got the window open and my neighbour's on the phone very close outside, so apologies for that if you hear. This day has been like 4 seasons in one day. We've had rain, we've had sunshine, we've had wind. Oh, right, so that's come out of there, but I think I will go down there, but I'm not sure I'll put other things on. And then for this little joiny here, let's just close it for a minute. Start to get a feel. See, again, you never get bored doing these sorts of things, because you get bored with the front, you come over onto the back. And I love my thumbs to be on something highly 3D in the corner. So that's the start of that. And here's this, which is looking pretty plain. And that's what I was thinking, is there a piece like that, for example, that can be part of our garden. Let's just think back to Fleur. We're not copying it all, but we're just using that, the background green, and then how to group and grow the garden. So I quite like that there. Maybe a little bit rounder. And I want to put it over the join, so that's why I'm doing this now. I like that little circle. So I've got this pale pink pearl threaded up. And so we might just start let's do I'll put it back here. I'll just do a couple of stitches over the top there. And let's do a delicate blanket stitch to make the join. I'll just pin that. So I hope you're enjoying this first deliberately and intentionally use of this beautiful green fabric. As the foundation piece. So it's a 3-day course, and I think we're going to look at gardens and all sorts of things. We get to do some fabric painting and all sorts of things. So I'm beyond excited, and I know that when I'm surrounded by Fleur and everyone else who's going, we'll just rub off ideas and I'll learn so much. And I'll share it with you. And I think I did tell you that I had booked it originally because I wanted to go and see my son and go out with him at night time in Melbourne because I miss him very much. But he's just let us know that he's coming home and he won't be there while I'm there. So I'll get to see him before I fly, which is quite cute. And it will give me more time to stitch at night time. There we go. I'm going to leave that flappy. And I've got a bit of stitching, so I mean a little bit of thread, yeah, and see I need to repin, so I won't go that way. Let's just go up this way. Love that raggy edge there. To stop because it's Saturday afternoon here and videos take a long time to load on the weekend. So I'm going to stop there and just say thank you so much for joining me on this little journey. It's been a great journey, and see, I just want to keep going, but I'll just pile up my inspiration there. And I've got my swan, my threads, and most of all, the inspiration piece, which is, oh, look at that on the back already. Yeah, I know I'm repetitive. I'm so excited. All right, this is Kate in the nest with Fleur's inspiration. Can't wait. Thank you so much for joining me, and you'll see more of this. You don't have to watch every one of my videos. Please don't feel that pressure because they're going to roll out because I need to do my my bag and this before I leave. So feel free, but if you want a little bit of colour, a little bit of happiness, join me next time. Have a lovely night. Bye.